And it was just, as the film had mentioned, a family-oriented thing. Many wonderful moments, and as I mentioned in there, as I later got to believe that I thought there was no greater high than playing the game. And those of you that played the game know what I'm talking about. But when you really get into teaching, then you really get, and you're part of molding something together, and you get to craft something together and so on. So that really gave me a real good experience there, and you get to shape young lives, and you get to teach them something. And many of those, and particularly on that 88 team, for instance, 2 or 3 of the kids that went on, that participated in that team with the Argentine Eagles that won that Class B, also played for me as younger kids, because I had a son about that same age. So nonetheless, but many experiences there. I have a lot of respect and so forth for the older people that I learned from and that I was playing with, because those of you that played the game know that you kind of await your turn as others are playing, but they teach you some things and you learn, and then when you get your turn in there, and I remember I wasn't that good initially, and then it seemed like after I went in the service, and when I came out of the service, of course, you're in the best shape of your life, so, and then I was a different kind of a ball player back then. I developed I could hit that ball there a little bit further. But anyway, those are just some of the thoughts. Also, too, there's some personal satisfaction and gratification I take of our 2 kids. Our daughter, which is the youngest of the 2, it's kind of like I had the 2 boys growing up together. But she went on to become the ball player I always kind of wanted my son to be, although he was pretty good. But she was just extremely talented player. And of course, she went on to play fast pitch for softball and girls. And if she had been a boy, she really would have had some pretty good opportunities there for her. But nonetheless, she got inducted into Southwest Missouri State University's Hall of Fame about 5 years or so after she quit playing. But many wonderful experiences and times there. So just a few of my thoughts, but that's what I can think of. I played for many teams, the Argentine Eagles, the Aztecas I first began with, and I played with St. John Saints here, Bully Viegas, and others like that. So anyway, I had a wonderful time, and I do believe, of course, that all athletics does shapes character, and it teaches you a lot of life, so because it mimics a lot of that.
Good, thank you. Mario.
Okay. You don't know who I am. I'm Mario Escobar, and I've been here originally from Topeka, and moved here back in '77. You know, of course, I played many years back in Topeka as well. One thing that was brought up in this film was mainly about more of stressing on family. You know, softball, even though we come from different cities, communities, whatever, we were a family, you know, and that's what it was all about. And but the competition was there, you know, between the cities and stuff. I got a joy of playing and participating against these different cities. Was my greatest experience was the fans themselves. You know, back in those days, I mean, the fans used to be packed all the time, and people would be betting, you know, out there and stuff like this, and it was just fun just to even just turn around and look and see what the arguments and stuff that's going on in the stands, you know. So, but when I moved here back in '77, you know, the thing was a team that I was looking to really try to hook up with and to join really was the Eagles at the time. And, you know, I just didn't make that connection. And one weekend, the wife and I went down to PR's over there on the west side. And of course, then ran into Eddie, you know, Eddie and Paulie and Rabbit, you know, with the Eagles, and you know, they approached me at that time, and I mean, I was making all kinds of excuses to them of not wanting to play with them, you know, because at that time they were our rivalry. They were our rivalry at the time, and I mean, Topeka and the Eagle with Livingston's fashion, we didn't get along at all, you know, and stuff, and we clashed every time, but we did respect each other. And like I said, you know, I was making all kinds of excuses not to play. Then finally, Paulie come up to me and told me, says, hey, I have my dad on the phone, Waxy, you know, he wants to talk to you. I said, oh, man. I said, okay. Anyway, Waxy kept me on that phone for about a half an hour, you know, just half hour, 45 minutes, you know, to try to convince me. And I, like I said, making all kinds of excuses, and, you know, he finally said, I run that team, you know, and everything, and needless to say, you know, he finally convinced me, you know, into playing with him. And I ended up playing 10 years with those guys, and really with that, it really kind of built a relationship together, you know, the old team I used to play with, and the Migos or so. One of the funniest things about that was that when I played at the Migos and I faced my old team, it was back in their tournament back in Topeka, and we ended up playing them for the championship game, and we beat them 1-0. And needless to say, I was the one that hit the winning run in, and at that time, Topeka disowned me. I mean, you know, he said, oh, you know, he's no longer one of us, you know. And I mean, I had a couple of guys that wanted, you know, to really kick my butt, you know, after that tournament, you know, and stuff. But really, it built a relationship together, and you know, I had no regrets and everything, and you know, Kansas City is home now and stuff, and I built a lot of good relationship with Kansas City, and you know, all to the state of Kansas, you know, through the softball world. You know, I'm a proud recipient of the Arturo Garcia Award last year. We have another recipient from the year before, Richard Rocha back here. He was the recipient the year before that, you know. So, and it's a great honor, and glad to be here. So.
All right.
I'm curious, 2 beers is all it took. You gotta play with that.
We want to hear from Coco Loco, right?
Coco Loco.
He got a hit last year, he's going to get one this year at the Newton tournament.
Yep. I started playing ball when I was 13 years old. Joseph girl came to my house Saturday morning. Coco, we need an ex-player. You got me and Tony Ortega. We went to Topeka and enjoyed it. Best thing I ever did in my life, play ball with some good guys. And I played, that was 1958. And I think I quit in about 85. A long time, ain't it? But Joseph Girl, he always wanted me to play a shortstop. I played shortstop, I guess, 15, 20 years. And ain't nothing like it, man, playing ball. I had 5 sisters, and they all had weddings. I never went to one of them. I could play ball. Joseph Girl says, you're going to play ball, you're going to play ball. And we play ball. And I played against all these guys and loved it, man. Especially drinking beer after the ball. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to call on the Salceda brothers, as many of them would like to come up. Wowie, Rick, Vince.
I hear that. I gotta go to taco dinner, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. We'll try to go down there.
All right, I'm gonna go eat tacos.
Maybe you too. I'm gonna run to the restroom. That's
Okay.
You hit the one over the wall. Joe. It's good. Good to see you.
Right here.
Yeah, Michael?
What you guys do? You guys play golf?
Mario, what position did you?
Well, one of the things, wonderful things that I discovered in doing this project is how the love of baseball and later fast pitch softball was passed on from generation to generation. I'm going to ask, is your sister still here? And Diego? Oh, I want both of you to come up if you would. You're part of this family. Okay. All right. Now, when you look at these folks, this is only just part of their family, because there were others. There were uncles who came from Mexico via various locations around the United States, working the betabel, working other crops, working in the railroads, and finally ended up here in Argentine, Kansas. And their story is an amazing story that goes beyond Argentine. Really, when you think about the family that Diego and his wife raised and took us really into the national scene. So let's start here with some cousins and we'll move down the line and just share a little bit. Y puede compartir con nosotros en español si quiere. No importa porque la mayoría entienden el español.
I can't survive English.
Okay, let's start with Mike.
But, oh, you know what, I grew up with all of my cousins, and all, these are all my cousins, great second cousins, really, but only thing I knew when I was growing up, you go play ball. You go down to the post every week, city, Poplar Field, you do everything, and everything is around softball. You know, and I see them playing, and they asked me to play. I said, all right, I started playing when I was 15, 14 years old. And that was the life, that, like you said in the story, and that was it. I mean, you go play ball on the weekend, play ball in the summer, play against the cousins. We play 3 and 2. We play against all the cousins and all that. You know, all the Sigis, and it made you tougher to go play. You wanted to beat them. You wanted to beat your own family. You wanted to beat your own family at 3 and 2 party down there in the hole. Down in the hole. Yeah, down in the hole. But I mean, that's all what
You and I are together.
Go ahead.
Grew up to Tell them your story, how you grew up to play ball. Why you were a pitcher.
Oh,
That's all right, you can stand up.
no, but, it started with me. Do you ever see that picture of me being a bat boy? I was 30 years old. You ever see that picture?
No.
Well, they probably threw it, you know,
Yes,
they
please.
threw it away.
No.
Anyway, that's how I got to play ball, was because all my uncles, I was a little bad boy, 3 years old, and buckwheat was right next to me. Anybody know buckwheat?
Yeah.
Well,
Mike Madrigal, yeah.
Started anyway. I would follow them everywhere they went to play, and they played for the Railway Ice Plant. And we started there, and everywhere they went, I went. And it was a lot of fun, so I just took it up. And there wasn't any time that I was not around the ball, either basketball, baseball, football, you know, without equipment. But anyway, I really enjoyed growing up, trying to help some of my, since I was the manager and coach and everything else, but anyway, they played for me and against me, because some of them played with us, started with us, and moved on with other teams. I said, that's fine, you go ahead. You know, as long as you have fun, just hang in there and play ball, and just have fun doing it. And I played until I was probably, I started out as a catcher, let's put it that way, because when I started over there,
soccer field playing baseball. Everybody went there to try out, and so everybody, the coach would say, all right, how many first basemen? Everybody, 1,000 of them picked up their hands. Same way, all the way around second base, everywhere. I said, I already had my fielder's glove, and they said, looked around like that, and I said, I'm not gonna play the outfield or my infield. So when you said, can anybody catch? Everybody hand up, so that's why I started catching. Nobody wanted to catch. So that was the start of my career on ball. And everywhere I went, when I grew up, went into the military, that's all they asked me, do you want to play ball? I said, do I? And so everywhere I went, I got, on the baseball team, on the base and off base. And I was a new team up there, they had so many scouts, because they thought I was a shortstop. I wasn't a shortstop, I was, the guys that they were playing couldn't field, so the coach would ask me, you know how to play shortstop? Yes, I do. I went out there, and every day I must have been good enough, because the way we played, it's like they're showing guys on TV now, jumping up in the air and doing all, we were doing that when we were kids, So there it went, and so when I went to Alaska, the same thing. Played ball, we took the tournament up there. You guys heard that tournament in Hutch, that NBA, or they have it every year in August.
Baseball?
Baseball. It's a baseball tournament they have. It's all the pros.
Is that the one we went to with the Flor de Mayo in
Yeah.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Where's Tony?
Right
Remember
here.
the Flor de Mayo? The Flor de Mayo.
Yeah,
Remember when we played ball with them guys?
yeah.
It was a Mexican baseball too.
Right.
Yeah.
We were like the Globetrotters, we traveled.
Yeah, I saw the bus, yeah, the Greyhound bus.
But anyway, it's nice to see everybody back, and some of you are maybe better shape than I am. But if I had to
You
do it
look
all,
good.
well, I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Great, thank you. All right, Rick?
The reason I got to play ball was because he pushed me into it. He forced me into it. And me and my cousin Tony, we were the same age, so we started with the 3 and 2 baseball. 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. As far as you can go in the baseball, if you don't get drafted. Then we played softball. But Tony and I have some stories when we were on our same team called Argentine Activities Association. It used to be right down the street here.
Yeah.
And they were our sponsors. Well, back then in them days, Raza lived in 2 blocks on this side, and on 40th Street, 39th Street, 2 blocks, that's it. And you could hardly get served. I'm gonna tell you like it was, Restaurants that won't let you in, they give it to you in the bag to go outside and eat it. So, me being like a little stubborn and saying,
No, not you, not you.
my sisters were small and they said, Rick, go to the store. So I take them to the store and she said, take the girls with you because I don't want you to be in there fighting. Because they would refuse the service, and I didn't like that. So anyway, that's how that started. But Tony and I played at Argentine Activity Association, and we were the champs here in Argentina, and we were the only 2 Chicanos in the team. In fact, there was one more that played in the whole city, was Pancho from Central Avenue. So there wasn't any, they won't let us play on this.
Garcia?
Yeah, Pancho Garcia. So we won the deal here, and they sent us like a state tournament to Hutchinson, Kansas. That was
like little World Series.
yeah, all the teams from all over came in, and it was called Argentine Activities Association. That was a big thing here in Argentina. It was all the rich merchants, and they had a big place like this where they used to go play golf, and they had 2 or 3 stories high where they stayed. So they put us in there because, hey, you guys representing us, so you guys go stay in our log cabin. So we went over there and we stayed there overnight, and then come the time for the tournament, we went to the tournament.